Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar today. The today topic is about the power of self-love. This is Sarah Green, provisional psychologist and a relationship therapist. I've had 10 years experience studying and practicing psychology and relationship therapy. So today we are going to discover how we can improve our relationship with ourselves. So the power of self-love, how to embrace and strengthen our relationship with ourselves. There are three things that we will have a look. First, we will find out what is the meaning of self-love. We define that and why it matters. And then secondly, we will have a look the barriers that holding us from loving ourselves. And also we will have a look at seven strategies to build lasting self-love. So why self-love is the foundation of a fulfilling life? So Buddha has a nice sentences about self-love. I'm starting this webinar with Buddha sentence. It says, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. So what is self-love really? So the definition of self-love is a deep sense of regard, compassion, and acceptance for oneself, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. It is different from narcissism. Because it includes humility, accountability, and boundaries. So now we look at the research inside. Kristen Neff has done a lot of work on self-compassion, which shows that self-love is linked to higher quality of mental health, lower anxiety, depression, and greater resilience. So why people struggle with self-love? So it has like several reasons. You know, when we grow up, we have a parent inside us, which those words of parents, they become internalized as a criticism. And we become like kind of sometimes perfectionist, and we have harsh self-judgment, which all of these block self-acceptance. The second reason would be like childhood experiences, neglect, trauma, emotionally unavailable caregivers. All of these impact our self-worth. And the third thing is like cultural messages. Society often thinks that self-worth is with achievements, looks, and pleasing others. So we tie our self-worth to these things that usually like social media and most society advertise. Now, what is the first thing we can do to practice self-love? The first thing is try to be aware of ourselves, have some self-awareness without judgment. How can we do that? Notice your thoughts. How we can notice our thoughts? We can monitor our thoughts and kind of use journaling, mindfulness, and voice recording to identify what are the critics at the back of our mind. Then the second thing would be label our emotions. For example, when we have some feelings, instead of trying to fixing them, trying to sit with our emotions, trying to see them, and then say, okay, now I'm sad. Now I'm kind of, hopeless. So we know the name of different emotions. And then when we have that, we kind of accept them and sit with them rather than escaping from them. So that would be kind of observing them without judging. And the third thing would be kind of apply friendship test, which means would I speak to a friend this way? So whenever we start talking to ourselves harshly, ask ourselves, am I kind to myself? Do I speak to a friend like this? So the second things would be build healthy boundaries. Why building healthy boundaries are important? When we don't have healthy boundaries, there are lots of energy leakage there. So we can protect our energy. Boundaries, through boundaries, we can communicate self-respect. We should practice saying no. No is a complete sentences. We don't need to explain to everyone. We don't need to say yes to everything. And by doing this, we can experience relief. Our anxiety reduce and also our satisfaction will be improved. So the third thing would be stop seeking external validation. These days it's so common. People want external validation from others, and they tie their self-worth to what they receive and what they say others about themselves. But we can do several practices to increase and build internal validation. So self-reliance is very important. When we rely on others to feel okay, we kind of abandon ourselves. So how we can increase kind of internal validation? For example, every day we can write one thing that we are proud without anyone else knowing about that. And then we can, praise ourselves for that, reward ourselves at the end of the day. What I usually do is during the day, sometimes I say, oh, again, today you wasted some time. You could do better. You could do this and that. And quickly I shift my mind to the things that I have done. You did this and you did this, and these are very important. Thanks for doing that. And that's enough. And then I reward myself. Okay, now it's a time, for example, to dress, to do meditation, to take a shower, or to listen to a music, to a podcast, whatever I like. So this is a daily practice. Whenever you start criticizing yourself, shift your minds to the things that you have done correctly during the day. And if you have done mistake, tell yourself it has been a mistake and I have learned my lesson. Try to not repeat that. But I'm kind with myself. Mistake happens. So research shows that internal fulfillment leads to better mental health. Number 4, so speak to yourself with kindness. Replace harsh words. I'm so stupid. Never talk like this to yourself. You can say, that was tough, but I'm learning. Use compassionate scripts. This is hard, but I'm doing my best. I made a mistake and I can grow from it. So whenever you start kind of criticizing yourself about the past or something, You can try something like, try to write a story of what's happened, but write it in a way that would be more uplifting and what you have learned, how you can do better. What have you learned from your mistakes? How have you grown up? So by that, you can like kind of feel much better about yourself. And also doing all this, then you can see the result, which your guilt will be reduced, and also your self-compassion will be increased. Number 5, try to engage in consistent self-care. It can be physical, like sleep, movement, nutrition, or it can be emotional, like journaling and therapy, or it can be social, like healthy connection and socializing with others, or it can be spiritual, prayer, nature, meaning making. So these are like different aspects of self-care we have. Self-care is not just about kind of physical things like a sleep and nutrition. Try to bring variety of self-cares into your routine. Have a list of things self-care that you can have. And every now and then go through that. And when you do that, be proud of that. You're not wasting your time. You're investing on your mental health and self-worth. And the 6th one would be forgive yourself and others. Forgiveness release the guilt and resentment, and it can free your mind. You can be then in the moment, live in the moment. It's like, free you from the past, the stories, the sad stories which happens. So forgiveness is a kind of self-love, practicing self-love. You can write a forgiveness letter to yourself or others. And through this, you can restore confidence and courage. Number 7, try to celebrate your uniqueness. These days is because of social media, it's very common we compare ourselves with others and then we feel we are not adequate. There are always people there who are more famous than us, who achieve more, they have more fun, and they look better. But every one of us is unique. So try to celebrate that. So move from comparison to appreciation. Appreciate what you have, your uniqueness, what you can do that other cannot do, your qualities. And try to embrace all parts of yourself with all your weaknesses, mistakes, values, your voice, everything about yourself. It means like we all have like, dark sides. If we bring those, accept those dark parts of ourselves, then that would bring a kind of coherence. So we feel like more grounded and calm when we accept we shouldn't be perfect. And practice affirmation. So you can stand in front of mirror. I'm sure you have heard this. You say you are enough, you deserve love. There are lots of affirmations there. Even if you don't want to stand in front of mirror and do the practice every morning, there are lots of affirmation videos in YouTube. You can listen to that. Gratitude and affirmation energy, bringing that really helps to kind of build your self-worth. And it's a kind of self-love. And finally, you need to integrate all of this into your life. And the integration of that would be self-love. It would be boundary setting, self-compassion, forgiveness work, community support, like daily check-ins with yourself and rewarding yourself. All of these, bringing all of these, then you can improve self-love. And there are like some good books there, which I just recommend if you want to like improve self-love. One would be Self-Compassion by Kristen Ness, and which is about work on self-kindness. And the other one would be The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown. This is a quite famous book. Maybe you have heard about that. Like, and the other one would be Radical Acceptance by Tara Brach. So, thank you very much, everyone, for listening. I just stopped recording and